Alright, I hope everyone's Capricorn Cup is going well. I apologize this comes out a little later than usual as people are ready to look towards the next CM. This will be more of a generalized guide for the Aquarius Cup. I'm only here to provide you with some ideas and things to consider for your Aquarius Cup's prep. If I included something that you don't think should be on the sheet or I didn't include something significant, as always, please let me and everyone in the community know in the comment section down below and I'll go ahead and update the sheet accordingly. Please always check the sheet for the most updated information. The downside of releasing these early is that the information is based on like the current testing and lobbies and all that. So if I mess up and need to change something or any new relevant information comes out for the CM, I will be updating the sheet. The link to the sheet will be in the description as always. Just understand that the thing you see in the video itself is the 1.0 version of the sheet. And if you enjoyed the video, do leave a like and subscribe. Would greatly appreciate it. Also, before we start, I just want to emphasize that this is solely for Unity Cup scenario. There is a chance that the next scenario dropped during round 2 or the final round of this CM. I don't work for Cygame. I don't know the exact release date they have in mind. That being said, the next CM video might also be a bit delayed due to the new scenario and trying to figure things out. For the track condition, this CM is a mile course, 1600-meter Tokyo dirt. It is counterclockwise, so left-handed, and it is on the winter season and sunny weather on firm terrain. This track does debuff your Uma power by 100 because it's a dirt track. For stats, we will want near max speed as per usual. The more cap it is, the better. Depending on the style you run and your mood, 550 to 601 plus will be your target range for stamina. Speed and stamina will be the stats that will give you your Uma hidden speed boost per every 300 increments for this track. So personally, I like going 601 plus stamina just to be safe and to get that little bit of extra boost. The general rule is that your stamina and get together should equal 1000. I also wouldn't use stamina card and just get your stamina either from Rico if you have her, some stamina spark, and or clicking on stamina spirit explosion in career. Power 800 to 1200. Obviously get this as high as you can with your capabilities. Sometimes you will do a power and wit trade-off where you go higher power, lower wit, or lower power, higher wit, but that's UMA dependent and your account standing and sometimes just your preference. Gut 350 to 450, as mentioned earlier, just follow the general rule of stamina plus gut equals 1000 and you'll be fine majority of the time. If you have Rico, highly recommend using it to cover a majority of the bases for your stamina and gut. For wit, 700 to 1200 depending on your Uma training bonus and your card strength. Personally like higher wit just because that means you are incorporating more wit cards or using strong wit cards, so your energy management and careers are very smooth sailing, which also help with skill point innately from wit clicks or more energy to use it on racing to get more skill point to get more skills. Now let's talk about front runners. I included some UMA here that I've been seeing and will be strong, but this is not an exhaustive list, and if you want to play your Oshi, you can feel free to do that. I will say the CM might be the worst for Oshi gaming because so many UMA has dirt aptitude of G, so you'll need 2 dirt inspiration to even hit dirt A since you can only get to C at most with 10 dirt spark. Alcantara Pasta will be a strong option, but will take quite the investment, and I have an example towards the end of the video. You will need 10 front runner spark along with 1 dirt spark to get front and dirt to A immediately. And you also need to hit groundwork ideally for inspiration while getting 2 green skills along with taking the lead to proc your groundwork. I wouldn't recommend Smart Falcon Power since that will nuke your stats too much, but having Pasta as a front allow much easier access to her unique Victoria Port Plancha since the skill require you to be in the first or second position, which is very strong skill for this track. For Smart Falcon, probably one of the best Uma for this CM and also not that hard to make. Her dirt aptitude start at A and she comes with front runner savvy innately in her kit, so that's one less screen to hunt for to fulfill the groundwork requirement. You also would need to hunt groundwork from inspiration, and I have an example of her towards the end of the video as well. Summer Maru, I know I keep her on all my video because she's hot enough, but like I swear on my life that she's actually decent for this one. Her dirt aptitude starts at D, so you would need 7 dirt sparks. We also have Taiki front, that is just as hard as Pasta, but in my opinion less effective in general. And I also see some people going front Ogre or Christmas Ogre, where her front starts at F, so you need to hit front inspiration 1 time to get it from B to A, even after with the initial 10 front runner sparks. Valentine Mihono Bourbon will also be strong and she'll be released in a few days actually if I remember correctly, but she's also very not fun to make because her dirt is G, so you need double inspiration in careers to get it from C to A after 10 dirt spark, and then you also need 1 mouse spark from B to A, which is not that hard, but the G to A is going to be a very, very tough hurdle. And then you also have to try to get good stats and then good skills as well. But she will be a pretty strong option if you're psycho enough to want to train for her. And then we also have Silent Suzuka. I've seen Runaway in lobbies. You also have to do double dirt inspiration for her. I can't say too much about Suzuka since I don't own her, but in lobbies, I haven't seen anyone that made one that's like that successful so far, but we will see. Unique skill, angling, and scheming is back for this one. There's also Alcantor Pasa Unique Victoria por Plancha. For skills, you still want groundwork from Inheritance or Smart Falcon Power card. Just know that your stats will likely take a hit by running Smart Falcon Power. Taking the lead as per usual, count as a +1 for groundwork requirement. I'm not going to go over all of these or this video will be an hour long, but I'll go over some specific one that we don't usually see. Highlander will be a pretty good Excel skill for this CM. A lot of people are going to try to get this on their grandparents and parent to pass it down. Shifting gear or changing gear along with other mouse specific skill like Productive Plan, Mao Maven, this one is specifically for front and pace, and Unyielding Spirit are also on the table. Some dirt specific skill like Forward March and Top Pick are also good. Forward March especially, which most people will try to get it from Inheritance, and I'll show you a card that can grant it in a bit. Smart Falcon and they come with Trending the Chart, which is the upgraded version of Top Pick upon potential level 5 unlock. There's also Speed Eater, very good for frontrunner especially to keep your Uma ahead or even get your other Uma ahead for positional skills like Victoria for Plancha for instance. I'll include the link to the doc as per usual for you to look at these other ones on your own, and then green skills for groundwork as per usual. For cards, I'll point out some of them. For speed, Machikane allow you to high roll your run, which I've been doing with my Uma. I would consider borrowing this card if you don't have this card to at least 3 LB, and if you don't need to borrow any other card. Suzuka speed card grants you a lot of good front runner skill, which is nice, but if you're gonna, I wouldn't borrow this card. If you're gonna borrow a card, I would just borrow Machikane. But if you're a free-to-play player or like you're starting off in the game and you have the story version instead, that's also might be something you want to consider. Zeno Rob Roy is an interesting one, not something you usually see for front as is usually seen for Laserger for the gold late recovery skill, but the second chain event of this card can guarantee you left or right-handed depending on what you need, which for the CM you can just choose left-handed for one less green skills to worry about for groundwork. I've seen a couple of people have been doing that. Power card, in my opinion, you either don't go them at all or you go one of them in your deck at most. That's my opinion. Helios Power, many won't have this, but does have Mile Corner, Shifting Gear, Speed Eater, and Slipstream on the hint pool along with Escape Artist as the gold skill. Smart Falcon guarantee you groundwork but does tank your stats for it. Personally, I would get groundwork inspiration for this CM, but that's just me. SR Helios, also the same hint as the SSR version that I just mentioned. Nishino Flower can grant you 2 usable green skills that in a relatively small hit pool along with straightaway adept. Inari 1 is one of the newer SR card. This card is going to be people's go-to during their grandparent and parent run, as this card can potentially give you Winter Runner, Ramp Up, Tail Held High, and Forward March. Most people farming Forward March will get it from this card or they're using Agnes Digital as a parent. Wit card, take or borrow the Bourbon event Wit card for taking the lead. Friendship card, both version of Rico. Highly recommend using her if you have her as she covers a lot of your stamina and gut problem along with just making your run very comfy. Pace Chasers. The only one I see with decent success in lobbies so far is Taiki Shuttle. That being said, these lobbies are quite sweaty and using these other one listed here when the CM start will also probably be fine. Probably. I swear it's not like this every lobby when the CM start. I will mention just because Taiki Shadow will be pretty good, do not inherit shooting for victory. The inherit version will not be good here. Pasta is an easy one to build. You just need one Dirt Spark and then Miles Spark after that. The problem is that if front becomes the dominant style this CM and your lobby has a bunch of front runner, the chances of you activating Victoria for Plancha will be significantly lower, which is why many will try to run her as a front. Again, this is not an exhaustive list. If you have an Oshi you want to run, you do you. I'm just listing what I've been observing. I will say these three, I probably won't run them as Pace Chaser. I would just run them as Lay Surger, which you'll see them again in the Lay Surger section. They're just much better in the Lay Surger, so I don't even know why I put them here to be honest. I'm just gonna move them down, actually. For unique skill, give mommy a... Oh my god. Give mommy a hug will be a top tier inherit unique for Pace Chaser. Victoria por Plancha will also be good, but that requires you to get first and second position, which will likely be lobby dependent. For skill, head on, Excel skill for pace is going to be good for the CM, and then the other skills that I mentioned earlier, like Highlander is going to be good. Uma stand is decent, but not something you need to tunnel vision on. Prepare to pass or speed start is also quite good, and all the other good stuff that I mentioned before. Green skills, they're there if you have extra skill points remaining. For cards, I already talked about most of these, but my own Gun SSR speed card can 50-50 you head on. Machikane, again, if you want to high roll your run. Helios, again, great hint and also can guarantee you Pace Chaser Corner. Nishino Flower has a chance for Pace Chaser Corner and Firm Condition. Wit, same old, Fine Motion, insanely good card. And to get Speed Star, we have Majiro Arden. She can give you left-handed and Pace Chaser Corner. Although I find her stats yield to be not that great, she's definitely more suited as a parent card of anything. And then your friendship card being Rico to help with your stamina and gut and make your career smoother to operate. For Lay Surger, we got an absolute demon of an Uma. For this CM, Agnes Digital will be one of the best. She has a lot of things going for her innately, with her having access to Super Stand, Lead the Charge, which is the gold version of Forward March, but I recommend only getting Forward March since the extra cost isn't worth the increase in Excel. She also has Updrafter from her secret event. The condition is kind of hard if you don't have strong support cards, but definitely doable. Besides her, we also have Ogre Cap and Christmas Ogre. I've seen normal Ogre do better as a late compared to any other position, and she's pretty easy to build to and a pretty friendly option. She just need one Dirt Spark to get to an A. Festival Gold City, also a solid option, is a bit harder with her Dirt being B, so you need 7 Dirt Spark. We also have Meisho Doto, and of course the GOAT New Year Haru Urara. She's definitely not easy to build optimally, but with enough love, effort, and luck, she can be pretty good. I've seen a decent amount of them in lobbies. And I also want to touch up on debuffers. Yep, debuffers on a mile track. One of the strategy for the CM that's going around right now is a solo A strat with double debuffer. It's good for those that are committed to one Uma and even those that don't want to spend much time on the CM. Dirt Uma is not the most accessible for everyone, so some might have limitation for their aces, and this setup helps those people as well. The setup just uses your usual debuff skill, your fluster, subdue, hesitant debuff skills, you know the drill. The stamina one isn't as important. The one you really want is the hesitant debuff that debuff their speed. And Keen Eye and Watchful Eye is also going to be a mild specific recovery skill that also debuff Uma ahead of their speed. This has been effective against Frontrunner, especially in the lobbies I've seen. Nice Nature, Majiro Dover both have All-Seeing Eye as an additional gold debuff, while Gold City innately comes with Keen Eye, but you can also get Keen Eye from the Gold City SSR speed card. You can just borrow it if you don't have it. And Watchful Eye, you can also get it from the SR Helios power card on the second chain event. Just something for you guys to consider depending on the strategy you want to go, or you just don't want to spend that much time on the CM. Unique skill, Pump Some Iron is back at the menu. You'll definitely want this for your Lace Surgers and Encloser. Redshift and Shadow Break are also a solid option, and then Triumph Impulse is also not bad as well. For skills, you ideally want Slick Surge on your left and Updrafter or Furious Feet for your Lace Surgers. Sometimes it might not be worth to get on your left if you already have enough Excel and you just want to buy Slick Surge, and most people only go Updrafter that they get from bubbles, races, or inspiration. You generally avoid Furious Feet because the Umas that innately have it aren't good for the CM, and ideally you don't want to bring Ogre Cap Power or Grass Wonder Gut, for example. I mean, you can, no one is stopping you, but ideally you want another card that's more useful outside of the one gold skill it provides you. A lot of these skills we already talked about. Again, Agnes Digital innately come with Lead the Charge upon unlocking her potential level 5, but I would recommend only going forward March since I don't think it's worth to spend all the extra skill point for the zero point 0.1 Excel increase. Everything else pretty standard stuff, your corners, your straight, yada yada yada. And again, if you disagree with some of the coloring or I missed something, please let me know in the comment section down below. And the link to the doc will be in the description down below for you to look at. Green skills, they exist. If you hit some of the speed or power one, can go for it with additional skill points remaining. Cards, nothing new. Ice and Flash have more value for a Laserger or Green Cap power. Take it or don't. Up to you since it can be a pain to RNG updrafters for some Uma. Nice Nature Wit is nice to grant access to on your left for your Laserger. And then your friendship card Rico, same as before. For end closers, I have not seen many of them in lobbies, nor have I seen many people talking about different end closers. The only end closer I see or Agnes Digital once again, and New Year's Haru Urara. The end closer you usually see, like Taishin and Ghost Ship, have their aptitude of G, so they're very hard to make it work. And I think their Mao is like, I think Ghost Ship Mao is C, and then Taishin Mao is D, so there's also that factor as well. But if they're your Oshi, then feel free to do whatever, if you don't mind suffering. I think Hishi Emesan and Mayano is dirt E, so they with 10 dirt spark you can make them work, but I've not seen them in action and not sure how strong they will be. Unique skills, exact same as Laserger, nothing to talk about there. The skill side of things, pretty similar to Laserger. You don't have Slick Surge, and it's replaced with our favorite and closer skill, Straightaway Spurt. On top of that, there's also where is it? Daring Strike is also going to be quite good for Encloser. Please do not get the white version early start. That skill is awful. Everything else is the same, and then greens to boost your stats if you have skill points remaining. For cards, a lot of the same things we already seen. Sweep Tosho can RNG you straightaway Spur, but unless you're a whale that already have MLB of this card, I wouldn't even consider it. Myra Vega Power is the only card that can grant Daring Strike right now, so if you already have this card, that's something to consider. And then Hishi Amazon, SR Power, also good straightaway Spur and closer straightaway. Wit cards the same, and then friendship card being the same with Rico. I finished my Capricorn aces so fast that I already made my 3 aces for Aquarius Cup to give people some reference. Some part I'm not very happy with, which I'll talk about, but I want to focus on parent farming for the future, and this lineup has been winning quite a bit in lobby surprisingly, so I'm just going to roll with it and not deal with it anymore. We first have Taiki Shuttle here. I have 2 speed, 3 stam, 11 power for my blue spark, and then 9 mile pink spark, and then 2 dirt spark as well. You do need 1 dirt spark to get her from dirt B to dirt A. I thought my skills were pretty low roll in the run. I didn't have that many great options. That's why I had to take some stuff like Mao Maven. I would have only taken like Productive Plan or like Shifting Gear if I had more skills that I could have bought, but I didn't hit that many good skills. I have to buy some gold version for them. They're not terrible, but like, I prefer to have more variety of skills to activate, especially since my wit is on the higher end. This is the deck that I use for this run. My Rico is probably better than most people. I got pretty lucky and I got to 3 LP with 200 pull on the Rico banner. So my stamina is definitely going to be a little bit better than your usual reference. I borrowed Machikane to try to high roll, but I don't even think I hit that much rainbow training with her. I think I only hit her like 2 or 3 times. SR Helios, I probably shouldn't have taken this card. I didn't hit any skills that I wanted from this card, which is kind of unlucky. I could have just grabbed another wit card and then run more races to get more skill point, but given that I didn't have any good skill hints option to buy anyway, I don't think that would have mattered for this run in particular. And some people are probably wondering, hey, where's your Fine Motion? You want Speed Star? Bro, I don't have Fine Motion. I don't even have a single copy of it. I could have borrowed it, but then I wouldn't have Machikane, which I kind of want to gamble. We all love gambling. We play this game for reasons. And then Marvelous Sunday I wanted to use because, well, none of my other weight cards are that great. And then also, she gives a lot of good skill, which I didn't even hit any of them, so it didn't really matter at the end. For my other 2 I have front Pasta and front Smart Falcon. This Pasta legit took so many more runs than these two combined, you have no idea. Although despite she took the longest to make by an ocean, she wins the least by a mile out of these 3. For Blue Spark, she had 5 speed, 3 stam, 9 power, and then Pink Spark, 10 front and 3 dirt. I didn't have any Mile Spark, I couldn't afford it with all the other requirements I need to fulfill. I have my 3 skills required to activate Groundwork, Winter Runner, Front Runner Savvy, and then taking the lead. Groundwork as per usual. The funny thing about Groundwork is that I didn't even hit Groundwork from my inspiration. I thought this run was doomed, but then the, one of the companion I had in the run was Ghost Ship, funny enough, out of everyone, it's Ghost Ship, of course. And then she has like a bajillion skill in the hint, and I RNG the bubble, and I hit groundwork out of the entire hint pool, which is kind of funny. And then I also hit Highlander from Rice Shower bubble as well, which is also pretty lucky. I say all that, but she hasn't been winning much anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Smart Falcon, I had 2 speed, 3 stam, 10 power, and then for pink, I have 11 mile and 2 dirt. And before anyone say anything, yes, I'm well aware my speed is not near 1200. I didn't want this to be the case, but my past 6 turns, I think, in the career, I didn't hit a single speed rainbow, which is kind of unlucky. I do have double left-handed to kind of, compensate a little bit as a cope. I do have Victoria for plancha, angling, and scheming on her, and then frontrunner Savvy, of course, with the left-handed and then taking the lead to proc my groundwork, so that works pretty well. She actually been winning the most, I think, out of my 3, which is kind of surprising. I don't think she's like that crazy, the one I have. Heiki's been winning the second most, not that far behind Smart Falcon, and then the pasta, you know, win sometimes, but like not that much, which is kind of depressing considering how long it took me to make her. Kind of funny how the one that takes the least amount of time perform better than the one that you invest more time in. Or I could just be ass. That might be a more likely explanation. For deck, I use the same deck for both of these. I don't ask me why I have Material Dover. Listen, I don't have any I don't have any good wit card. I had Machikane, but I'm borrowing Machikane, so I can't use that wit card. And then I tried Material Arden. The stats yield is trash. I tried Marvelous Sunday. I have one LV Marvelous Sunday, so the stat yield is also trash. And the only other wood card that's decent in terms of stats yield is this card right here. And also I can grant you Sunny Day as a hint, potentially, so that's not too bad as a green for my front runner. And then your same usual stuff, Kida-san, Rico, Mihono Bourbon, all that good stuff. Oh, and one small advice for those with stamina issues. I've seen my friends run where they have MLB on Rico and they're missing a bit on stamina. If you don't or can't invest more into Stamina Spark to fill that gap, obviously first I would recommend investing a few click on Spirit Explosion on stamina when they land it on stamina. But if you can't do that during summer camp when all the facility level is max, if you stumble upon a dead turn with no rainbows and pretty much full on energy, and there's people on stamina to get you plus 20 some stamina, I would recommend that if you're consistently finding yourself lacking a bit of stamina. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you find it helpful, do leave a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, thoughts, please drop your comments down below as well. I would greatly appreciate that. If you think I was wrong in something, please correct me down below as well. And I'll keep an eye out for any new information and update the sheet accordingly as we move along. I wish you guys the best of luck with your CM prep and the rest of your Capricorn Cup. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Take care.